If I love you, I'm in love with you. I don't give a how many times we get it, we bump heads.
That's real.
You make me mad. I'm in love with you. Don't down me.
So people saying Memphis rapper Fast Cash C Money just passed away. But the people that don't recognize him, he had the viral song High Off Me that went viral. If I ain't tripping, I think that's his biggest song, but he sadly just passed away.
How I feel right now? 100%. I don't with nobody. And I'm finna make everybody regret playing with me.
Big Boogie just slipped up and dropped a bomb. He hinted that C Money might have been sacrificed, and the shocking part, he pointed the finger straight at his own label boss, Yo Gotti! Boogie made it clear he's done protecting CMG and Yo Gotti, and the streets can't believe he said it out loud. He basically exposed the cold truth about why C Money got no love and who really stood to benefit from his death. This wasn't just gossip. Boogie cracked open CMG's dark secrets, and now a firestorm is threatening to swallow everything Yo Gotti and his empire stand for. The message is loud and clear. CMG is shaky, and Boogie doesn't plan on sticking around to watch it crash. Now everyone's whispering, was C Money's death just another tragic hit in Memphis? Or was it the ultimate betrayal inside CMG?
What happened, gang? They just said my got killed.
The way Boogie framed it, this might be the biggest backstab the city's ever seen. The spark that lit all of this? A short but deadly video Boogie dropped on social media. He didn't even show his face, but you could hear the venom in his voice when he warned about making someone regret crossing him.
How I feel right now? 100%. I don't fuck with nobody. And I'm finna make everybody regret playing with me. That's all I gotta say.
It was quick, sharp, and straight to the point, but one thing's for sure, Boogie wanted the message to cut deep. At first, fans were scrambling to figure out what Big Boogie meant, but things got real when he dropped another cryptic post on his IG story. He wrote, "I'm focusing on my daughter, myself, and my career. I ain't letting nobody get in my way. It's gonna be 2026. I'm changing day by day as a man. People barely ask me about my mental. I barely even talk to anybody now. I don't care to. Everybody that ever played with me before made me this way. Today, I'm focused because I see a bigger picture of my own life. Numb and grinding." He didn't have to mention Yo Gotti or C Money directly. The shade was obvious. Fans immediately connected the dots and saw it for what it was. Boogie sending a message that he was done covering up anything tied to CMG. And once he admitted he was numb and didn't care anymore, people took that as confirmation that something darker was brewing behind the scenes. Fast Cash C Money's death was already suspicious, but Boogie's words made it explosive. C Money lost his life in a shootout in Memphis's Fraser neighborhood, and at first, everyone thought it was just another case of street violence. But the moment raw, unedited footage of the scene hit the internet, everything changed. It didn't look random anymore. It looked like somebody wanted him gone. That was all the Spark fans needed to start digging deep. And the more they dug, the uglier it got. Rumors surfaced that C Money knew trouble was coming weeks before he died. He even made sure his girlfriend and kids would be straight if anything happened to him. That chilling detail had people questioning whether this was truly fate, or a setup so clean it couldn't be ignored. That's why C Money had been hustling so hard to lock in that CMG deal with Yo Gotti. He thought it was the key to securing his future. But according to sources, he didn't just stop there. Word is, C Money also went out and got a life insurance policy as a safety net for his girlfriend and little kids. In Memphis, with the way things move around CMG, that step didn't sound so far-fetched. But here's the part that shook people. After his death, his girlfriend Kaya still had to start a GoFundMe to cover funeral costs and help raise the kids. She even shared the link on Facebook with a heartbreaking tribute to him. "Courtney taught me so much, so happy we got to love on each other. You took my heart with you for real. All I can do is play your music to hear your voice." Fans were stunned, because if the insurance and contracts were real, why was his family left struggling? See, C Money wasn't a superstar yet, but he wasn't some nobody either. He didn't seem like the type to leave his loved ones stranded. That's why when a leaked document popped up on Reddit showing parts of his CMG contract, things got messy. The paperwork suggested he was set to receive an undisclosed payout from CMG in case of death. But when it came time, that money disappeared into thin air. Naturally, people expected Yo Gotti to step up. C Money was affiliated with his camp, and whether Gotti wanted to admit it or not, that connection painted a target on C Money's back. But instead of support, fans say they got nothing. No tribute, no condolences, no help for the family, just silence. And in this game, silence can speak louder than words. That quiet from Gotti had people convinced maybe he gained the most from C-Money's death, especially since, according to reports, C-Money had signed his CMG contract just a day before he was killed. The viral footage even showed him celebrating the deal with friends when a car suddenly pulled up and sprayed the block. Police confirmed multiple houses were hit, but somehow only C-Money lost his life. Coincidence? Or was the chaos just a cover for a much bigger move? And here's the part that chills fans the most. C-Money already had momentum before Gotti brought him in. The CMG contract was supposed to catapult him to the next level. Instead, just hours after signing, he was gone. Now people are asking the darkest question. Did the very deal meant to elevate him become the trap that sealed his fate? But soon, C-Money started realizing he and Yo Gotti weren't on the same page at all. While C-Money was trying to build a real career, talking about meetings, contracts, rollout plans, Gotti acted like none of it was serious. To him, C-Money wasn't a partner. He was just another piece on the board that could benefit CMG. And that's when the red flags started piling up fast. The final straw for C-Money came when Gotti started making shady moves that couldn't be ignored. Anyone tapped into Memphis street politics knows how heavy the tension is between Gotti's CMG crew and Young Dolph's PRE camp. That beef runs deep and bloody, and everybody in the city knows it. After Young Dolph's murder, all eyes turned toward Gotti and his brother Big Jook. Whispers started floating that Big Jook might have even ordered the hit. That made the streets hot, and CMG's every step was being watched like a hawk. Things only got messier when Hernandez Galvin, someone tied closely to Big Jook, was arrested in connection with Dolph's death. Fans didn't even have to stretch far to draw that line. Then, almost like the streets came calling, Big Jook himself was taken out in a violent incident that looked way too familiar. Some said it was karma catching up. Others swore it was straight-up revenge. Whatever it was, one thing became clear. CMG wasn't just facing business problems, they were knee-deep in a war where every move had deadly consequences. And through all of this, Gotti was still trying to run CMG like a tight ship, but the cracks were showing. For artists like C-Money, signing that contract wasn't just about music anymore, it was about stepping straight into the middle of a storm that had already claimed lives. Over the years, Yo Gotti built himself a reputation as a straight-up mob boss. That's how he ran CMG. Tight grip on his artists, obsessed with loyalty, and always keeping the hierarchy in check. You don't cross the boss unless you're ready to deal with the fallout. For a long time, that style worked. His artists went along with it because they were all eating. Glorilla, 42 Doug, Moneybag Yo, Black Youngsta, CMG had one of the most stacked rosters in the game. But everything started shifting after Young Dolph's murder. Suddenly, Gotti's mob boss image wasn't seen as power. It was a reminder of street politics and gang drama that had already cost lives. The respect turned to suspicion, and the whole aura of control started to backfire. Bit by bit, CMG's shine began to fade. Artists weren't charting like they used to, some even distancing themselves, and now the only one keeping the label buzzing is Glorilla. And let's be real, one artist can't carry a whole empire. That's not the legacy Gotti imagined when he built CMG, so he started moving quiet. Less posts, less presence, whisperings of him tweaking contracts and cutting off anybody who didn't toe the line. And when Gotti cuts you off, it's permanent. Look at Black Youngsta. He's been one of Gotti's most loyal soldiers from day one. The muscle, the guy who would handle situations Gotti wouldn't dare touch himself. That kind of loyalty made sense when CMG leaned heavy into the mob vibe. But now that Gotti's trying to clean house and steer the label in a new direction, that type of muscle loyalty is starting to look like dead weight. That's why he needed a fresh face to pivot the brand, and that's where C-Money came in. Young, buzzing, and already moving like a star, C-Money was the perfect recruit for Gotti to rebuild CMG's image. But the way things played out, it looks less like a fresh start and more like C-Money walked straight into the crossfire of Gotti's power games. But here's the twist. Gotti never really planned on pushing C-Money the way he dreamed. From the jump, C-Money brushed off the warning signs, thinking it was just part of the game. But once Gotti's moves started looking shady, it hit him. Signing to CMG might have been the biggest mistake of his life. Not only did that alliance put him on the radar of Gotti's enemies, it also made him a target inside the label itself. The ugly truth? Gotti wasn't hunting for a new star. He was looking for an exit strategy. And C Money? He was the pawn in that plan. When the news broke that Fast Cash C Money was gone, the whole CMG camp was rocked. But no one seemed more broken than Big Boogie. His first post about it said it all. C Money Smith Jesus, brother. I'm hurt to my heart. My favorite rapper from day one. I'm hurt about you, boy. This wasn't just a tribute. Boogie sounded shattered, like he'd just lost more than a friend. His grief went so deep that he even canceled his own birthday bash in Memphis. On Facebook, he dropped the announcement, "I'm straight on Memphis. Birthday bash canceled. You guys lame forever," tagging C Money and adding crying emojis. It was short but powerful, enough for people to read between the lines. To outsiders, it looked like grief. But for those tuned into the Memphis rap scene, it felt like survival. Boogie was stepping back before things spiraled further. Fans actually praised him for that move. In the comments, people left messages like, "That was a good idea, bro. You just saved people's lives." And "He threw a pool party in my city, Atlanta, because he knew if he would have did it in Memphis, it would have went sour. Do your birthday bash in Atlanta, gang." The message was clear. Boogie wasn't just mourning, he was avoiding becoming the next headline. C Money's death had already turned Memphis into a boiling pot, and Boogie knew if he didn't tread carefully, the streets could claim even more lives. After his recent posts, fans started piecing together a chilling pattern. Big Boogie had been dropping cryptic messages ever since C Money's death. In one, he wrote, "Everybody finna regret what they did and said. Watch this." In another, he warned, "Going silent is my final warning." At first, people brushed it off as venting. But now, with C Money gone and Yo Gotti moving suspiciously quiet, those words feel less like random thoughts and more like warnings straight from the inside. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get darker, Stan G shook the room with a no-jumper interview.
And dealing with them Texas boys, them folk got hit up. Them folk got hit up everywhere you go to, like the Fed watching. You know what I'm talking about? He signed that boy right here. That boy ended up going to jail. So they watching that boy so close right now because they you know what I'm talking about? The case is in August. You know what I'm talking about? I talked to Govan. I did an interview with Hernandez Govan, the dude who set the whole supposedly, you know what I'm saying, dog murder up.
He sent a chilling message directly to Black Youngsta and the whole CMG camp. Watch your backs. According to him, Yo Gotti has no problem cutting people off, and not just from the label, but from life itself. That statement hit hard, especially while the crew was still grieving C Money. All of a sudden, every eye turned toward Boogie, the only one bold enough to keep dropping hints and demanding answers. But here's the dangerous part. If Gotti really played a role in C Money's death, what makes Boogie untouchable? His silence doesn't look like peace anymore. It looks like protection, like he's waiting out a countdown. And the scariest thought? If Gotti is already lining up his next fall guy, then Big Boogie might be walking into the same trap that C Money never escaped. That's why fans are asking the real question. Was C Money sacrificed, or did Boogie just mark himself as the next target? If you've been following this story, drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates, and I'll catch you in the next one.